Welcome to another edition of Posi-TIPS with Rachelle. Continuing this important series on adversity lessons, folks, because we always learn more in life, grow and develop in terms of our character in the midst of adversity than we do during the easy times. And it's easy to kind of get comfortable and caught up in, oh, life is easy, this is wonderful, but we are not doing the greatest amount of our growth in those series. In those seasons of life, simply not happening. And so, folks, I just had a thought here for this particular episode, just to really think about. I know I've been thinking about just, doing a temperature check. Not, oh, you know what? Not is in the traditional form, is particularly in light of this unfortunate COVID pandemic that we're feeling. So not in a physical sense, in a literal sense of taking your temperature, but certainly if you have symptoms of a fever or anything like that, certainly do that. But I just mean, that was the figuratively speaking, the manner of saying, just see where do you stand? How are things going with you? When you think about from the time this unfortunate pandemic started to now, and what ways have you changed? And what ways have you grown? And which ways, is it in areas of patience? Is it in areas of being flexible? In terms of perhaps an individual tended to be very rigid, and it has to be this way and no other way, and no other options work. But now, flexibility is certainly required to maintain, any semblance of sanity during this pandemic, because things are just fluid and they've been changing for a number of weeks now, so we have to be open and flexible. And so, where do you stand? Where do you stand? Where do you stand? And I know early on I mentioned one of these early Posi-TIPS episodes here on adversity lessons, I mentioned that this whole concept of selfishness and and conversely speaking, selflessness. How much are you doing for others? How much are you caring for others? How much are you still trying to make a difference or make some type of impact, even in the midst of this serious pandemic? Because, folks, and in this whole concept of growing in areas of selflessness is something that this coronavirus pandemic, this is in many respects, this is kind of just in many respects a ready-made opportunity to grow in that area. Because whether we're in a grocery store and we see that there's only 8 items of our favorite whatever, and we decide not to buy the whole 8 and leave the shelf empty, and actually buy some and leave some, regardless if we're talking about grocery stores or toilet paper or whatever the case may be. But these type of opportunities in terms of just helping one another, perhaps you have an elderly neighbor or even an elderly relative or just elderly people in the community that even you don't know. Just taking an opportunity to check up on them, see how they're doing, see if there's anything they need. There's opportunities for us to be of service even in this pandemic and during this pandemic. And so we just have to look for opportunities to continue to give, continue to make a difference, continue to try to brighten someone else's day. Because something like this, a worldwide pandemic can force us to just focus on ourselves and what is my life and how is this impacting me, and just me. It's all about me. But we can't lose the perspective that it is truly, all about other people as well. Other people are important. And so we've got to do all that we can to make sure that, we're not just excluding other people and neglecting other people, that we're continuing to think about other people and do what we can to help other people and make a difference in their lives in big ways and in small ways. And we'll never regret, thinking about someone else, doing something for someone else. And I mentioned a couple weeks ago, just even old school, picking up the phone and calling someone else. Just how are you doing? Again, particularly if it's somebody that's, particularly elderly or may have some other type, maybe some health challenges or something like that. You never know how these small acts of kindness and these small acts of selflessness can make a difference in someone's lives. It is powerful, folks. And so let's just continue to keep it on, making sure that we continue to value other people, esteem other people, and as much as ourselves, yeah, it's easy to have the me mentality, but let's make it us, we too. In our communities, in our homes, and everything. And we will never regret that. We'll never regret that type of mindset. So folks, that's it for today. See, only you know where your current temperature is. When you do your temperature check, figuratively speaking, you know where you stand. You know in areas that this coronavirus pandemic has challenged you in certain areas. There's patience, selfishness, flexibility, humility. Humility. I mean, there's just so many different lessons that we can all learn and grow, but just folks recognize. And I just hope, particularly when you do your temperature check and kind of see where you are, where things stand, how things have changed for you in the last 3 months or so, a little bit less than 3 months, that you can say that, man, when this first started, I was here. And now I'm here. Somebody could say, perhaps, I was just almost paralyzed with fear. And each and every week, that fear has gotten better. So it's more manageable for me now. That's just one example. But there can be many. Somebody could say, I was really rigid and just had to have it my way. And by, week 10, somebody is saying, well, what, I'm pretty open, but I'm flexible. And if the grocery delivery can't come on my preferred day, then I've got to look at a plan B. Or, you know what I'm saying? Just things like that. There's so many areas. So just think about you. Think about you. A parent may have said, oh, when the kids first started, when the school was canceled, they made, oh no, what are we going to do? And this is just, oh my God, it's going to be so rough. And now, weeks later, hey, we got this. It's challenging. It's hard. Yes, they miss school. Yes, I miss them being at school, a parent or parents may say. But hey, we're making this thing work. We're making this thing work. So look for opportunities to evaluate your growth. Look for areas to say, hey, I've really grown in this area. In some cases it took a pandemic for me to really kind of grow in this area or deal with this area. Yes, folks, yes. That is the power of any type of adversity. Will open your eyes and show you different possibilities and different paths that you may have never known existed. And so, folks, that is all I have for you today. I cannot wait until next week. But until then, remember, I am positively passionate about your happiness and success. Make it a great day.